Welcome back, Power Crew. This is Power Fighter 1 here, and this is my fourth part of my first rant for MMPR, the movie Reboot. Now, let's finish this thing off very strong. Now, throughout this whole rant, I've explained many things that IGN reviewers and a lot of people have been talking about, but never really explained things. Now let me explain why I believe the older cast would do better than a newer cast. The older cast has already known about these characters, knows exactly what they are, what they need to be, what they can be. The older cast has more room to do different things, whereas a newer cast would be trying to redo what the original cast has already done. Now, whether or not people say it would be darker, grittier, or whatever, doesn't matter. Fact of the matter is, it would all be based off of what original MMPR did with the first couple of episodes, if not the first episode in particular, / Green Ranger stuff, because I know if they don't have it, the movie is not going to do that well. But personally, I believe that if they did what Toho has already done over in Japan, they have had a 20 years after movie. I believe this MMPR movie did a 20 years after and had the guy that had Austin St. John come back and play Jason, versus also the people that played Kimberly, Billy, Zach, and Tommy. Unfortunately, the person that played Trini did die from a car accident, so they would probably have to get in contact with the person that played her in the promo and go with a little bit of storyline of explaining how the powers got passed on from the original Yellow Ranger to her, probably during that Blasted Peace Summit, so they could explain things. But the fact of the matter is that the original people already have a strong fan base and a strong feeling of success towards them. A lot of people that would follow them and love them, and that with just a little bit of changing things around would be deemed better than what they've already have been. Because remember, all these original actors didn't have a chance to really act because nobody thought of doing a darker, grittier, or more serious type movie. Remember, the first MMPR movie did the best, but it did seem more like how all the episodes did. Gave us creatures they fought, they easily defeated them, had the Zord fight, all that fun jazz. But in all reality, it wasn't as dark and everything as you thought it would be. But with this newer movie, it has more free range, more open to newer concepts. So I think if they gave them the liberty to come back and actually fill in and do these roles, I think the movie would do better than having newer people try to fill in an old role that has already been taken, that has already had the best actors that could play them. And of course, I mean this with great respect towards the original people, of course, and even with how they say it's going to be a reboot. If it is a reboot and there are newer people, I'll just say I have to watch it several times to fully grasp that these people are going to be them. Because I've seen things like MMPR, the fan-made movie. Sorry. And personally, I think it's good, but it's hard to connect with it because it's not a reuse of what the original people were. Blue Ranger is going to be a girl in the fan movie. And I have no idea if her name is Kimberly or not. I have no idea what their names are. I mean, it just made no sense, at all. I definitely do think that if it is reimagined, they're going to stick towards how the original cast was. And what do I mean by that? I mean, it'll be White, the Red Ranger, big, strong, tough guy. The Blue Ranger will be an intelligent man, will also be white. The Black Ranger will be a black guy, of course, that dances or whatever. The Yellow Ranger will be a woman. Unfortunately, they did have her being Asian, but that can be looked aside anyway. And she'd be a very strong and intelligent chick. And yes, the Red Ranger was technically Indian, so yes, it seemed racist, but it was still a very good show. And then the Pink Ranger be a girl, a prissy type girl that knows what she wants out of life and everything, and knows she is high stuff. Very much similar to what Kimberly was, because let's be truthful here, her character knew exactly what she was, but didn't want to officially say it out of everybody. She was somewhat shy, but being truthful, she knew she was something that was worthwhile. And then, of course, the Sixth Ranger would be very similar to what Tommy was. Very awesome and cool guy. Well, at least when he was evil. When he became good, he became very klutzy and moronic, but that can still be looked over. Now, as I said, if it is a newer cast and everything, sorry, I hit my tripod. If it is a newer cast and all that, I do think it'll be interesting to see newer people do it. Heck, I know this will be the first time that we will actually get a CGI version of the original MMPR Megazord. I'm pretty sure. I mean, in Japan they did this already, but we might actually get a very graphic MMPR Megazord. Not actual suit type Megazord, actually fully articulated CGI, darker, grittier type of MMPR Megazord. Now, do I think the film has no chance? No. Do I think that people that have reviewed this and have said certain things about it know what they're talking about most of the time? Unfortunately, some of them do know, but some of them fail to point out many things. I did this in order to point out a lot of things that the series has already done. It's just a matter of reusing it the right way and rewording things and redoing things so it will work better. Because remember, originally the MMPR television show was made to not only impact somewhat little kids, when I mean little, I mean 10 years old, as well as teens and adults and even more elderly people. But of course now people say it only affects kids because it has been driven and derogatory towards kids now. To want them to want and need these toys and everything. But the original series wasn't just focused towards kids. It applied to many, many, many ages. The newer series definitely focuses towards more kids, than what the original one did. But the original one definitely hit towards all ages in any type of genre. I mean, there's people that have become famous sport people and actors and everything because of it. People that have become Olympians, people that have played soccer, I mean, anything like that. Power Rangers has influenced people to do that type of stuff. It has also influenced them to do charity work and all of that. So the fact of the matter is, it's actually hit on a lot of bases. But people fail to realize this. Because, unfortunately, people have only seen a little bit of the series, not all. MMPR has a very wide range of bases they have hit and of things they have done throughout their whole life. And even continuing on into MMAR, Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers, Zeo, Turbo, In Space, Lost Galaxy, and from there on, it has hit multiple things over and over and over again, and still has the same message. So, whatever they say about the show might be true still, but the fact of the matter is that majority of the stuff was lost after MMPR was done because it had to be focused towards a different light, towards a different perspective. Couldn't hit multiple bases like it should have when it originally could have. But compared to what most people say, though, MMPR was a great series. Season 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Season 1, 2, and 3, and even Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers. Okay? Remake of the movie might be better. Because, as we all know, original movie did good, but really it's considered canon. It has no connection with the series. It has nothing to do with the series. This also is included. This is actually the only movie that has nothing to do with the series. Out of all three of them have been made for Power Rangers. Most people would be like, how does that have nothing to do with the series? It's the most successful one. Shouldn't it have something greatly to do with the series? No. Unfortunately, the MMPR movie was all made to sit as a side story / replace a little bit of history done with MMPR season 3 / 2. Well, 3. But the fact of the matter was, the movie doesn't matter at all because the season itself automatically forces you to realize that the first couple episodes of the season actually mattered more than what the movie did because they impact and set up the whole season for season 3 compared to what the movie did. So, movies have 100% count. Now, with Power Rangers Turbo and Power Rangers Samurai episode or movie takes place in between Samurai and Super Samurai. It's a specific spot. I have to look it up from what episode it was in Super Sentai, and it would be in between our American adaptations of those two episodes. I know this because since we followed the storyline so well with Power Rangers Samurai, it would be in between the same two episodes. In Power Rangers Turbo, the movie, or Turbo, a Power Rangers movie, that starts off the whole Power Rangers Turbo series. So it is automatically a part of the series and can never be taken away. Now, my final verdict on the whole reboot and remake of the series, of the movie, I will give in the next part of this rant. This is Rip 5 for 1, and I am signing off for now. May the power protect you, Power Crew. And I will see you.